Peace. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yah, the Holy One of my forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is Daweh Ben Israel coming to you once again from the wilderness of the Red Sea. I want to say peace and shalom to you all. Today I want to talk about self-improvement, for our men. And I'm pretty sure without a doubt this can resonate with our women as well. Alright? Whether you're old or young, doesn't matter. We all need to work on self-improvement to cleanse ourselves from the ways of our oppressors and to be refined into the servants that Yah has called us to be. So I want to give some steps on self-improvement. Alright? So once again, this is geared towards the men. So first thing is you want to clarify your purpose. We have a responsibility as men, as a nation. Yah chose the nation of Israel to be a peculiar people unto himself. Alright? A lot of us have come to the awakening that we are Israel. And that's good. But now it's time to define your purpose. What's your calling? And only the Most High can reveal that. And the closer and closer and closer you get to the Most High, the more and more and more He starts to show you your calling and should reveal to you what your duties are on this earth, so we can take care of our responsibility as servants to build Yah's nation on this earth again. So define why are you here, and that comes with self-awareness. You have to know thyself. You have to be in tune with yourself. You have to be able to look deep, dig deeper within yourself for you to be able to see what your purpose is. So connect with your deeper values and your spiritual calling. And that's the first thing when it comes to self-improvement, self-awareness. And on this path, you have to embrace discipline. And these come with, building daily habits, cultivating consistency. Yah is about consistency. That's what He looks for in us, is to be consistent. You can practice things like waking up early, exercising, meditating, going out in nature. All these things help with self-improvement. It helps build self-awareness. Learn how to manage your time. And one of the main things that we struggle with as men, including myself on this path, is being able to control that sexual energy within us. That's why I mentioned seed retention and things like that, and, mastering your desires, being able to transmit that lust and, and all this type of negative energy, transmitting it into positive energy, utilizing your strengths. The seed is powering your seed. A lot of energy, some of us that are practicing seed retention, they get a boost in energy, they become more innovative, more creative, they're taking that energy and they're putting it in different places, different departments, and utilizing it to become a better person. But that takes discipline, all right? Also working on your body, your physical. I've talked about this in the past. It's spiritual, mental, and physical. What you eat, being disciplined on keeping a good diet. Make sure you're practicing healthy eating habits. Taking care of your body, taking care of your vessel. Like I said, we're just spiritual beings, experiencing a human experience. Living a human experience. So you have to take care of your vessel. You only get one of them. So train your body regularly. Strength and endurance. It don't just boost your health, but it boosts your confidence. The more you get confident, the more you get disciplined, the more you're able to continue to practice these routines, you become more consistent. And that's what Yah's looking for, consistency. And I talked about this before. This is really key. Cultivate emotional intelligence. Understand your emotions without being ruled by them. Don't allow your emotions to rule over you. Learn how to respond, not react. and understand that calmness is your strength, my brothers. Practice things like reading daily. I try to read the law a day. Keep your mind focused on Yah, like Yah talks about in Deuteronomy chapter 6. Keep your heart and your mind stayed on them. Wear this law like fountains between your eyes. Wear them like ornaments around your neck. It all starts in the mind and the heart. Practice on other things. Reading books about leadership, learning history, how Yah has fulfilled his prophecies. By psychological, practices. Practicing on your mental. Read those type of things. Those help. Those help stimulate your mind, and it focuses on cognitive. It helps in a cognitive manner. Learn how to sharpen your intellect. Also part of self-improvement is learning how to take responsibility and accountability for yourself and your actions. Stop learning. Stop blaming others. But own your actions, your emotions. Accountability makes you trustworthy. It makes you trustworthy. Standing by your word, just like Yah does. Yah don't break his word. And that's how we got to be as men. We got to be accountable, man. When you say you're going to do something, you got to follow through. Learn that your words have power. All right? Your words speak life and death. We have to work on improving our communication. That's part of self-improvement. Make sure you're speaking clearly, listen deeply. Learn how to handle conflict with honor and calmness. Learn how to manage. Manage your emotional intelligence, especially during disagreements. That's all components of helping you improve your self-awareness. All right? Learn how to lead, whether it's yourself, family, work, community. Practice servant leadership. Learn how to serve others. Learn how to follow. Be humble. Be attentive. Also, learn how to lead with love, clarity, and courage. Structure. Learn how to lead. A lot of us want to be leaders, but we don't have the tools how to be leaders. And it takes practice. Consistent practice every day, and it all starts with yourself. Learn how to manage your resources. That's another part of self-improvement. Learn how to manage your resources. Okay, Yah provides us with the resources, but we have to be responsible, especially those who have families. You have families, you have to be responsible with your resources. You're responsible for your wives and your children. You're responsible for yourself. Part of self-improvement is learning how to work with others, teamwork. Learn how to build brotherhood, unity. Be someone that's accountable. Be someone that could be someone that people can rely on, could depend upon in times of need. All right, be dependable. All right, surround yourself with honorable men. I talked about this before. Iron sharpens iron. You are a product of your environment. Those in your inner circle reflect you, and you reflect them. Learn how to confront your fears. Do the hard things. Do the tough things. We have to come up out of our comfort zone, and this is what Yah's calling us to do. I know many disagree when I talk about what Yah said in the book of Jeremiah, flee Babylon. But Yah teaching us we got to come up out of our comfort zone. We can't be in our comfort zone on this path, man. Just think about what refinement is. Think about gold. How gold is made under intense heat. Stress. Think about the diamond, the pressure. It's the same thing with us. But refinement is not easy. It brings all the darkness out of you. It shows you your ugly side. It shows you your subconscious. A lot of us are ruled and dominated by our subconscious minds, our subconscious thoughts, and it shows through our actions. So we gotta learn how to confront those fears. A lot of it is having difficult conversations. with others, and with yourself. Take that leap. Courage grows in discomfort. That's when courage is built, through discomfort. We got to get out of our comfort zones. We got to get used to being in unfamiliar situations. That helps us grow. Guard your mind, your energy. That's really important. You have to guard your energy, man. Set boundaries. Avoid toxic content and influences. Fill your mind with truth, peace, and wisdom. You know, especially some of us, there's a lot of us that are dealing with sexual desires, lusts. We can't allow that to rule over our minds anymore, man. You'll see, once you're able to conquer your mind and you're able to conquer that lust, it takes it to yourself, improve self-improvement to whole new heights. Learn how to manage your seed, man. You shouldn't be spilling your seed every day, every other day. Learn how to retain that. Getting to know yourself, you get to know just how powerful you truly are when you develop discipline. And above all, seek Yah daily. Learn His word. Learn His characteristics. Yah shows Himself through pattern recognition. That's why when you're reading His book, everything is repetitive. You know that Yah is repeating Himself over and over and over again. Pattern recognition. That's how you develop. This will allow you to develop discipline in your heart, and it will divine your true essence, your true being. All right. So once again, I give all praise and glory to the Most High Yah. This journey is long, hard. It's not easy, but we have to take it one day at a time. Each day is a day to get better, a day to improve. Try to be better today than you was yesterday. But most importantly, live in the present moment. Focus on every single detail in the present moment. So these are some things to work on myself. Like I said, working on these daily. Trying to develop a routine. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, my brothers. So with that, peace. Shalom. To be continued.